Hi, everybody. Welcome to my channel. I'm Mandy, and I'm an ADD ENFP who likes a million different things. So today I wanted to share with you one of those things, which is tarot and astrology. I have my friend Emma here, and she's going to tell us about what we can expect for next year. This year's been complete trash, so I'm hoping she has some good things to say. She's already pulled some cards for us, and she's going to give us kind of a rundown, just like a very quick gloss over of maybe what we can expect, and maybe it'll help us get ahead of anything that could be coming our way. We'll see. So here's my friend Emma. So Emma, let us know what's going on.
Hello, I'm Emma, as previously mentioned, and I am a tarot reader. I have been interested in tarot for a very, very long time since I was in high school. I remember sitting down in one of my friend's bedrooms when he got his first tarot deck, trying to figure out a huge 10-card Celtic cross reading. I've been hooked ever since. I have always really, really enjoyed mythology and archetypes. Tarot and astrology both really heavily rely on those languages. It also brings in the psychology aspect, which I am also very interested in.
We're going to do what, a 5 card layout? What does that mean exactly?
I have pulled 5 cards for us today. I wanted to keep it kind of short. It's just a general like vibe for the next year, what we need to leave behind from last year, and challenges that we may be facing in the coming year, as well as supportive energies that'll be coming into our lives.
Which we all need some hopefully positive things that you're going to pull and tell us. I'm crossing my fingers. There was some good
Yes,
stuff in there.
there's definitely some great stuff in here.
Okay, good.
The deck that I am using today is the Lightseers Tarot deck from Chris Ann. I just absolutely love this deck. It's still Rider-Waite-Smith based art, but it's not so heavily reliant on the original Judeo-Christian themes that the original Rider-Waite-Smith deck was based on. And I definitely enjoy that a lot because looking at the original deck is very confronting to me sometimes because I have not previously associated religion too terribly much with spirituality. Just whenever I was younger, the two things just seem so separated to me, which is weird because they're not supposed to be separated, but that's modern day Christianity for you.
Okay, so what is the first card?
The first card that I have pulled, it's the Hierophant. And the reason why I pulled this is because this is the tarot card that is associated with the number 5, which is the numerological representation of next year. So, just shorthand, the way to figure out what number year is represented every year, you just add the digits of the year. So, it's 2 plus 1 plus 2 for 2021. The number 5 is a number of change. It can also represent travel. It can represent chaos. It can represent pleasure. I feel like it's important to bring that up because the Hierophant it's a spiritual teacher. And I really love the way that the artist has portrayed this card because in the original Rider-Waite-Smith deck, this card essentially had a representation of the Pope on the card, whereas this card is showing us who appears to be a yoga teacher. And in the background, there is a stairway to heaven, which is amazing. And the Hierophant is here to teach us that we should be open to seeking guidance when it comes to achieving our goals and achieving our spiritual fulfillment. So last year's energy was that of the Emperor. That card it's really all about masculinity, power, but it's also about stability and your foundations. And I feel like the way that that has come across this past year has been us having to look at everything in our lives and decide, is this stable? And we've found out in a lot of ways that it's not. Everything in our life, we have had a chance to examine this year as we've had to rearrange everything about our lives and say, almost as Marie Kondo would ask, does this bring me joy? And is this set up the way that I want it to be set up and in a stable way? So going into next year, we have this card of spiritual development and change. I feel like the word change scares a lot of people, but I don't know about you after this past year, knowing that there will be some changes is a relief because
Yes.
to know that there are positive changes on the way and that they are going to lead us to this light at the end of this staircase. Um, I feel like that's definitely something that we can all be happy about.
Definitely. I agree. I think we're all looking for that light at the end of the tunnel. And like you said, there's been so many changes, but we're like looking for like good ones, something different
Yes.
than what has been going on. So we all want something a little bit different.
So the next card that I pulled is a representation of the energies of last year that we need to leave behind. And the card that I pulled is the Four of Cups. And as you can see in this card, this young lady has three empty cups and one full rainbow filled cup that she's not paying attention to. And actually, you might argue in this depiction of this card that she's not paying attention to any of these cups. But this card typically represents apathy. It can also indicate stagnation. It's about not appreciating the things in your life that are good and only focusing on the things that you feel like you lack. The Suit of Cups is a water representation, and the number 4 is the number of stability, as we've already mentioned. And when water is super stable, it's ice. I feel like literally this year, all of our relationships have been on ice. And instead of focusing on how sad that makes all of us, we really need to figure out the things about our relationships with other people that we're grateful for and really transmute that sadness and that isolation that we've probably felt into focusing on the things that we are joyful about in connection with others.
That sounds awesome. And I agree. I think that a lot of people are noticing that, well, because you're sitting here thinking so deeply and doing so much reflection on your house, your job, yourself. And to a certain point, it can be good because you're like looking at what you could change maybe for the better, but you're also like, oh, watching too much YouTube and being like, why doesn't my house look like that? Why am I not fitter and thinner and prettier? Why am I not learning 17 languages? And I think we also put like a lot of pressure on ourselves with this time too. So, okay, so what's our third
Yeah.
card tell us?
So the third card is the challenges that we will be facing next year. And this is the Five of Swords. And I always think of this card as a card of conflict, but whenever you are having a conflict with someone where nobody wins. And I feel like this is a very prescient card for us to have pulled for this spread because there are a lot of fights with all sorts of people in our lives. You know, it makes me think about how people are on one side of the mask debate or the other, and that there even is a mask debate. We're going to be talking about whether or not we should be taking the COVID vaccine next year. We're still going to be talking about divisive political issues. And I think this is going to be a challenge for next year, for sure. I think that this card is here to remind us that it's in our best interest to be mindful about the conflicts that we are having with other people and the way in which we conduct ourselves during those conflicts. because we're supposed to be working toward our highest good. We're supposed to be working towards that light at the top of our stairway to heaven. And you're not advancing your spiritual development. And honestly, you're probably not advancing your just general happiness and well-being by stabbing other people in the back, hurting them with your words. And the other thing that I want to mention about this is that the conflict is not avoidable necessarily. So, definitely thinking of caring ways to share your opinion with other people. I hesitate to say that this is urging us to be the bigger person, but I think in a way it is. It's not necessarily, you having to back down from the conflict. It's you finding a different way to have this conflict in a way that advances everybody in the situation towards their highest good and not just yourself or the other person.
Okay. So it's not like giving in necessarily. It's just maybe figuring out the best way that you can kind of move on or carry on.
Yes. If you are having a conflict with somebody about something that really truly affects the collective as a whole, maybe it's time for you to think about how you can lead by example instead of wasting a bunch of time trying to convince somebody that they, shouldn't watch Fox News anymore.
Yes, internet fights. We've all had a couple of those that we regret. I know I've definitely had a bunch of them. So far it kind of seems like that's kind of a lot of what we already have had this year. We just are trying to kind of keep going, keep kind of moving on, and just trying to really redefine kind of everything about ourselves and how we're reacting to these things. But I don't know that it seems super different thus far. So I'm hoping that we're getting some more positive changes coming in. And hopefully this is saying that these things are going to lead to positive changes. Maybe if we do try to look at where we are and kind of, like I said, redefine how we react to situations. Okay. So we're on what? Card 4?
The fourth card that I have pulled is representative of supportive energies that are going to be coming into our lives during 2021. And I pulled the Sun card, which is the most positive card.
Oh, good.
In the tarot deck. So that's one of the reasons why I harped on so much about thinking outside the box about how we actually conduct ourselves during conflicts, because the Sun card is our supportive energy for the year. And that means that there will be successes coming our way. There's going to be opportunities coming our way. There's going to be, the sun is finally going to come out at the end of the tunnel. We have good, positive things to look forward to.
Okay, so that's great. Okay, so next card. What's next?
So the next card that I pulled.
No, I'm just kidding.
It's not death. No, I thankfully did not pull death or the tower for this reading.
Okay, good.
The final card that I pulled is supposed to represent the general vibe of the year. This is the energy that we are going to be moving through as a collective next year, and it's the Six of Swords. And the Six of Swords is about taking a journey to a new place. The Suit of Swords is representative of our intellect and our mental state. As you can see in this card, this woman is on a stormy sea on a rowboat being pulled by these ravens. And it is about packing your stuff in your boat and moving forward next year with all the new things that you've learned this year. We're all going to be changing. And I mean, we've already been changing, but it's during 2021, we're all going to learn to accept these changes that we have undergone. We're going to be using the sun to successfully integrate those changes into our lives for a positive a positive transformation. And, you know, I'm excited about where we're headed. I'm ready to be at the new destination.
Aren't we all? Seriously, especially if it involves actual travel. That's what I'm looking forward
Yes,
to. Some real travel. So,
absolutely.
is there anything else that we need to know or think about or have in our minds, or any other things you want to tell us?
2021 is going to bring a lot of changes still, just as 2020 did, but there are going to be more positive changes. We've spent all of 2020 thinking about how we don't like this thing isn't working right. This system is broken, and in 2021 we're going to take all of those things that we identified that we didn't feel like were working and talk about our ideas about how we're going to improve those things, fix those things, and use those things to improve things for our entire community as a whole.
So a lot of moving forward. So that sounds great to me, I think.
Sometimes you got to go through a hard time to realize the things that you like in your life and that you don't like in your life. And one positive thing that I hope all of us take out of 2020 is keep the things that you like and fix the things that you don't.
As again, the great Marie Kondo says, if it doesn't bring you joy, chuck it.
Yes,
I think
she
that's
is
exactly
truly a
how she said it.
visionary.
Yes, she really is. Um, so you actually do readings for people. They can ask you questions and you can give them an overview, and you kind of do a few different things, right?
Yes, so I can absolutely tailor my readings for what you're interested in learning more about in your life. I can also do new moon, full moon tarot spreads if that's something that you're interested in, or I'm happy to do year ahead spread where we pull a
Mhm.
card for each month and discuss it on a larger scale. Or, if you just want to know what the general vibes are going on, we can pull a few cards and discuss and talk it out.
So how can they contact you if somebody is interested in a personal reading?
If you are interested in doing a personal reading with me, you can either follow me at Artemisian Dreams on Instagram and just send me a DM, or you can email me at artemisiandreamstarot@gmail.com.
That sounds awesome and really cool. And Emma is really great at explaining things if you don't know what any of these things mean, or what is your moon phases or all of those things, because I don't generally know what those things mean. So you're really good at that stuff. And I know you've done some things for me and told me all kinds of interesting, crazy things, and even predicted some things that have come true, which is pretty neat. Hopefully the new year is going to be great for all of us. And hopefully we'll see you guys again here soon for more interesting and weird and different and ADD ENFP content. All right. See you soon. Bye.
Thank you so much, Mandy.
Thanks.